everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I didn't really feel like talking about like fashion items that I want to buy, anything like that. So yeah, I decided to just go for another rant right now because we didn't have one of these for quite some time now. So I thought it's about time for that again, isn't it? So before we get started, I want to get like a couple of things out of the way. First of them being, I will not name any influencers by their names in this video because I don't want to create drama and because I do not want to bash anyone. Many of the influencers that I will refer to are actually influencers that I'm following, that I enjoy, that I really appreciate for their personal taste and for their business sense, and I do not personally have any kinds of problems with influencers making money out of this. So there's nothing wrong with being an influencer per se. I honestly just want to shed some light and share some more strategic views maybe about how the influencer industry together with the fashion industry do work and what sucks about that and what I think are things that are broken and that need to be changed and that also we as consumers need to keep in mind as well. I also want to create more awareness around us, you know, normal consumers and viewers, because I think that many people are still very naive when it comes to influencers. Also, I want to say that I have been working in the fashion industry in, you know, on the marketing and creative side for over 10 years now. So I know actually what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get started. So as much as I love watching hauls by my favorite YouTubers because they really inspire me, they really show me new styling ideas, or they also just have a brilliant eye when choosing and curating their wardrobe, I am also sometimes very fed up with a couple of things that they come with. So the first thing that is very much wrong with influencer hauls is that they are very disproportionate. Because of that, they also create unrealistic expectations on the side of the viewers. So what often happens with these hauls is that especially like big influencers, they get a free amount of budget for which they can shop. So unless you are a big influencer that gets a voucher for a couple of €1,000 every, you know, couple of weeks that she can then shop for, or unless you are just extremely rich, you will not be able to shop at designer retailers for thousands of euros every 3 weeks. You just don't, you know? And I think that we have to keep this in mind when we watch these hauls. We can take them as inspiration. We can take them as sort of like fashion advice or styling advice. However, what is very important to keep in mind is that they do not pay for these hauls. They get a set amount of budget that they can spend and that they can shop for. And they get these items free or with a heavy discount. Actually, more often they get it for free. A luxury item in my world is a luxury item. It is something that I treat myself with. It is something that I put a lot of thought into before I buy it, and it is something special in my wardrobe. And again, there is nothing wrong that they get these vouchers, but I think it is important for us to keep in mind that this is not a natural scale or proportion of luxury shopping that we all have to strive for, or that we have to feel bad about if we can't. Point number 2, I already talked about in one of my last rants, which is like half a year ago, is they are all orchestrated. You know what I love YouTube? You know what I love about social media? Authenticity. And if luxury brands or luxury retailers just orchestrate masses of hauls that all happen in the same month, especially when it comes to specific products, I just lose my shit. I just can't with it. It's really something that I think is bad marketing. And honestly, if I would be like a big influencer, I would also always consider that as well, to stay authentic to my audience. Like all of a sudden everyone is buying this particular bag, or all of a sudden everyone is unpacking something by this particular luxury online store. Obviously, this is not real. A couple of years ago, hauls were something that we got from our own money or with our own money and that we then share with our community. And now it's just marketing. So if you do your marketing, at least do it in an authentic and realistic way and just like spread it around a little bit more and don't do it in bulks, because it's just like, and when it comes to the relationship between the influencer and the audience, again, what was your motivation to get something by this shop? what was the reason why you ordered with them or why you bought this specific product by this specific brand. The reason should never be marketing. The reason should never be budget. You know what I mean? You still should have your own reason why in this particular case you got this or this or this product at this or that store. Point number 3 is that influencers do not review products the way they should or in a proper way. So the thing is that if you get items for free, you just don't put in the same thought into what you are buying as if you would buy it from your own money. And that is the reason why many influencers just buy items that they know are Instagrammable, that they know are important key pieces by certain collections that will just, go through the roof and that will be super trendy, and they just, have to be part of that gang. And they also do not consider things like longevity or quality. They just, buy what they like, they buy what they see, and therefore the decision-making process is very much different and probably way shorter than if they would have to spend their own money. So I think it's often very frustrating to see that influencers buy items that are ridiculously expensive, and they are made of polyester, they are made of acetate and other very, very cheap and low quality materials at designer brands. And not just is this a poor decision when it comes to quality, it is also something that I feel undermines the expertise of these people who work in fashion. They are influencers. So why do they not know anything, or why do they not care at all about quality, about materials? You know what I mean? So I would never ever imagine buying a jumper that is made of polyester for 700 or 500 euros. But also when it comes to shoes or bags, being comfortable, being functional, being long-lasting, being versatile, all these decisions that are very, very important for normal people spending their own money and purchasing something that is very expensive, it does not apply to influencers because they get PR, they get free items, they get discounts, and most of them also only tend to wear these for one season anyway. So we can basically use influencers as inspiration, but we can't really use their recommendations or advice because it's just in no relation coherent with our lives. Point number 4 that I think is very wrong, and I already stepped into that before, is they happen way too often. And in this case, I'm not just talking luxury, I'm also talking fast fashion. I think that especially in these days, I just can't wrap my head around how someone can do huge hauls every single week from different online retailers, especially when it comes to fast fashion. I think that this is one of the most wasteful things that you can actually do. It's insane. And this is something that I find particularly insane when it comes to fast fashion, the sheer bulks that the people are reviewing and the quantity, the frequency, how often they are doing these hauls. And then on the other hand, on luxury, again, these hauls still do happen way too often for the fact that you are talking about luxury. I think this is not just something that, again, is very, very unrelatable for most people's lives. But on the other hand, it is also actually degrading fashion itself. It strips fashion from its value because it defines wealth and style and being trendy or relevant or whatever through quantity and not through quality. It does define being relevant through always being up to date, and it does define style with always having the newest stuff, always adding something new, always being super up to date and super trendy and having the latest stuff, and not with putting thought into what you actually need, what you actually like as an individual, and then making smart decisions and actually creating an individual style that you really feel good about with items that you actually love. That is just so wrong, and it again pushes and motivates consumers to make stupid decisions and to also waste their money on either trashy items that will not last long and that they will most likely not be satisfied with for a long time, or spend a shit ton of money on very expensive luxury items that they think they need right now, and therefore get in financial trouble, or again also lose a lot of money on items that are not even their style. And I think that the fact that these hauls just happen as often as they do in itself is extremely dangerous. And last but not least, a very important part is that often influencers do not disclaim their hauls properly. So of course, this is something that not everyone does the same. Everyone, you know, all these influencers do it a little bit different. And what really, really frustrates me and what makes me very angry, to be honest, is that most of them do not disclaim properly how they got this haul or how they got this amount of items, which way they got it. They say, oh, I just teamed up with that brand, you know, or you know that I love to work with these for many, many years, but like, how exactly do you work with them? Did you have to pay for these items or not? Did you get a discount? Is this completely sponsored? None of these facts often get actually disclaimed and talked about. And this is again something that I find ethically very, very wrong, because again, I do not have anything against an influencer making money through hauls. I don't have anything against affiliate links. I use affiliate links myself too, even though I obviously am not able to live off that. However, there's nothing wrong with living off that. I absolutely appreciate getting inspired by an influencer and then, you know, giving her fee of provision, because creating this kind of content is a lot of work. So I don't have anything against that. However, I think that it's all about transparency and honesty, and that does not happen enough. If you would know that your favorite influencer actually got all of these items for free, of course you would, you know, watch this content and consume this content in a different way, maybe in a more critical or just more distant way. And you would maybe reflect more about the motivations why this person got this particular piece or not. Maybe it would also give you the chance or the awareness to, when checking out the items and clicking on those links in the description box, to just take one more look at this item from your own very personal perspective, and maybe check out the material. Maybe really ask yourself if you need this item right now, or if the price is actually good, or if it's not really justifiable for what you get. And therefore you as a consumer would be able to make a smarter decision. And also I think that coming to an end of this video now, let's just all keep in mind that 99% of all hauls that you see by big influencers are orchestrated, they are sponsored, they are bought, not with their own money. So we can still enjoy them and we can still love the style and the inspiration that these hauls provide us with, but we should all keep in mind that we need to make our own decision, and that we need to reflect on our own, and that we be aware of the fact that none of that is really real. You know what I mean. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of these points. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.